I went to the Tom Ferry Roadmap Tour, and in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the highlights. I'm going to review my notes, which I'm actually going to share with you. Not everything, because I can't give you everything, but I am going to share with you some things, as you'll see here on the screen. Feel free to read them, but I'm going to read them as well as add a little bit more context to them. Let's go ahead and start from the top. I want to start with this first one, which is goal setting, but it's a little different than the normal goal setting you might be familiar with. This is thanks to Midori Verity. Shout out to her, who owns Fuel to Fire Accountability Groups. Amazing program. So go check that out. But Midori told me many years ago, before going to an event, that this is something you want to do. You want to set goals for that event before you go to it. So what is something that you want to accomplish with your time at that event? So here's a couple of mine that I had literally on my list before I even made the drive down to San Jose. One, meet at least 3 new real estate agents, which I did. Learn one new thing that I could apply to my marketing, more specifically direct outreach activities, which I did. Talk about my video coaching program to at least one person. I did, and actually a couple people. And then hand out 3 business cards. I ended up handing out 10. Now, when I say hand out, I mean I actually had conversations with people who therefore wanted my business card. So it wasn't just me throwing them out on table somewhere. So those were a couple of my goals. And those were things that I set before going to the event. So you should be doing that for any event, even if it's a mixer or a networking group, anything like that. You should be doing that before you go to the event. Tom Ferry is an introvert himself, which I did not know that. As he said, being an introvert doesn't pay well, which is why you have to be more extroverted. Things you should be asking yourself: what do I have to do in this market? Like this market right now, because it's a challenge. What would I have to give up? Because let's face it, we're always adding things, but how many things are we actually giving up, like taking away from our plate? And then how do I double my listing appointments? Clearly, this is for real estate agents, but how do you double your listing points? Listing points, listing appointments. Not satisfied, change the play. So think of this as like sports. Like if you're not happy with how you're running the current play on the field, then change it. Go ahead and change it. I love this part. It was find 3 more ways to find listings at no cost. That can be applied across the board, whether you're an agent or an entrepreneur. What are 3 things that you can find to help you get more leads, get more listings, get more appointments without having to spend a ton of money or any money at all? Because I guarantee you there's at least 1, if not 3, that you're not doing and that you could be. Tom kept talking about the shift is the gift. So true. Such a great line there. Personalization is a trend and is something that we all want, which is why I'm asking everyone that I'm connected to on my email list, inside the email club, I should say. I like to call it a club because email list, it's like, but when we talk about it being a club, like I genuinely look at it as a community and I want to have genuine 2-way conversations with people. I don't want to just be the one sending my voice out into the universe and crickets. So I'm actually using this personalization in my emails where I'm asking you inside my email club to respond and let me know what's your first name, because I don't have everyone's first name. And also, what do you do? So that way I can keep an eye out for better resources that I can send your way, whether that's in a mass email group message or specifically to you, Jill, Sally, Liz, whoever, right? I just totally made up those names, but you get what I'm saying. Be of service no matter what the end result is. So this was key. And we know this. We know this when we're really coming of service. But I loved hearing this from him and others, and really understand. Don't be so focused on the sale, but rather on helping one person make a decision. That's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. That's what you're here for. We're here to help people make a decision. Do you want this? Yes or no? Do you want to work with me? Yes or no? Is this the right fit? Yes or no? No hard feelings if it's not. It's about making a decision so that you can move on. It's the same with don't ghost people. If you're not interested in what they have to offer, don't be stringing people along. I can tell you right now that is like, oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard and it happens so much. Be honest. Don't worry about hurting my feelings or anybody else's feelings. Be honest. If it's not right for you right now, it's a no. If it is, it's a yes. Plain and simple. Everyone can go on about their day, but stop wasting people's time and stop wasting your time and your energy. Make the decision, yes or no, and then move on. All right, soapbox, I know, but hopefully it was worth it. All right, so we got to be of service. Okay, proximity counts. So both online and in person. NAR had actually reported 60% of people chose an agent close to them. So you want to think about like proximity, and even if you're not close by doing things, think about online, the proximity. This is why video is so important because you can be everywhere and anywhere all day long and be in people's faces and stay top of mind if you're recording your videos and you're sharing them on a consistent basis and not worrying about everything being perfect. Listen, right now, I am not in my normal location. I was able to use my setup here to blur the background a little bit so you can't see the rest of the house. I'm sitting in front of the window, soaking in as much daylight that's left because it's in the evening and trying to get that nice, decent look here using my regular camera on my MacBook Air instead of my nice camera on my iPhone. So use what you have and make it work so that way you can get the information out there. And I'm doing this because right now I'm in the zone and I wanted to get this checked off my list. I made the decision to go ahead and move forward with this because the information was more important than the way that I look and have my background presented because I'm not trying to sell a house right now. I'm not even an agent, by the way, but I'm not trying to sell the house, right? I'm trying to sell the story here and get that information out to you. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so here we go. So we got proximity counts. It's not that hard right now. This is from me, actually. I'm going to say this personally. It's not that hard for you to stand out in this market if you have good business and communication skills. This is something I hear all the time from people is my agent isn't getting back to me. I haven't heard from them. They're not answering their phone. And this is from the consumer side as well as fellow agents, other colleagues, right? So if you can take that one extra step to follow up with people, even if you don't have an update, stay in contact. Give them updates. Hey, just checking in. I don't have an update, but I'm still paying attention. I'm still thinking of you, right? Keep that conversation going. And I promise you, you will stand out and you will get more business. Trust me, you will get more business. Okay. Then we talked about these are things that I'm going to mention, but I'm not going to share too much about because I can't give you all the goods and got to keep some stuff, piled in. But you can always schedule a call with me and we can talk more. We talked about 3 AI apps for agents. We talked about the 6 dominoes. One agent shared her genius partnership with a local business, which I loved, in addition to how she deals with traffic and parking complaints that she might get from neighbors at open houses. So brilliant and so well done marketing wise, which brings her more business. And then video, of course, record video. Everyone talks about that. And you hear it enough from me, so we'll leave it there. We talked about remembering remember this when your world is crashing. I added that piece, but remember this when your world is crashing and you're thinking of changing careers or, that business is over for you. You're only one phone call away from a turnaround. So that came from the event, and then I'm going to extend that to you for video. The same thing can be said for video. You're one video away from a turnaround. Literally one video away. And remember, you can create crappy videos and still get business. It's amazing. Coaching's not a magic pill. That was a big one that came up because you can hire a coach, but you still have to do the work. So coaching's not a magic pill. What is your vision? What are you building? This was huge. I loved this one because it had us stop from our busy day-to-day stuff and all the stuff that you're doing on a day-to-day to really step back and think about, what are you building? What are you building? So take some time to do some work on that. We all face the same three options when considering something. There's either do nothing, so stay stuck, ask a friend to try and help you do this, like, hey, Sally, can you hold me accountable for doing XYZ? Or hire someone to help, a coach, so you can actually get it done. Those are really the three things that we have. Most people, I'm adding this piece, most people are probably going to stick with the first two because they think they can't afford a coach, or they don't know if it's going to work out, or they're just scared, whatever the reason is. Most people aren't going to do that piece. They're going to fall to 1 and 2. And again, it goes back to make a decision, yes or no, and keep it moving. All right, get back to learning so you can grow. This is a message right now, especially with this shifted market. You want to make sure you are getting back to learning and growing. Read. Tom Ferry gave us so many books. You can listen to podcasts, like all different things. I actually, prior to this event and knowing what he was going to talk about, a couple weeks ago, I actually went through and added to my calendar. I already had personal development time there and listened to a podcast, but I didn't specifically call out what podcast. So I went into my calendar and updated that so that every day of the week, I'm listening to a different podcast, a very specific one for that day of the week. And that way I can check the box of listening to one podcast from a selective group of people for different shows that are going to help benefit my business, from sales to marketing to content creation to real estate, everything in between. So there's that. Learn something and do something for others. So learn and implement and share your knowledge. The next one is, it's not timing in the market. Sorry, it's not timing the market. Like, when's the best time to buy? It's time in the market. I think that could be applied across the board. We have to be in it in order to win it. I just made that one up, but go with it. Expired listings is an opportunity now and coming up in the future. So keep that in mind, agents. Let's see. One agent shared their best advice for agents in the business: be kind and elevate this profession. We had the conversation about, there's not so kind people in this business. And I see this a lot in the Facebook groups that I'm in for real estate. And I will tell you, it's intimidating for others to post their questions in these groups, which is why so many post anonymously, because they don't want to get ripped to shreds for what could be a very basic question for some people. But for them, they don't know, which is why they're asking the question. So be kind to others, both in person and online, and understand that if you have the answer, great. Present it in a polite way and help educate others and uplift everyone, right? Instead of tearing them down and saying, why didn't you know that? Or can't you Google it? Yes, but they're in a specific group for a specific conversation, topic, industry. So let them ask it there. Be the resource and understand that, yes, Google is at our fingertips, and yes, Google can answer a lot of things, but oftentimes people don't know how to Google something. It's not that they don't know how to go to Google and type in the search bar and then hit search. It's they don't know how to put that conversation together because they're not talking to a person. In these Facebook groups, you're posting, but you're posting as if you're talking to a person, because the hope is that a human will respond. Whereas on Google, you're just posting and it's AI. It's just technology. Hopefully that makes sense. So just be kind, okay? And really take things up a notch. No more than 3 to 5 priority goals per quarter. So Q4 is upon us. What are your 3, maybe 5 priority goals for the end of this quarter and the end of this year? 50 appointments. So Tom gave us all the goal to set 50 appointments from now until the end of the year to fill up our calendars. So I thought that was great. And then as a wrap up, similar to what Tom had us do, I'm going to simplify it a little bit more for us. Now that you've heard me, if you made it this far, hey, congrats, you made it. You get a gold star. Comment down below so I can give you a gold star. If you're actually watching this from your email, just hit reply and I'll give you a gold star. But I want you to write down 1 to 3 ideas from these notes, from what we just talked about, and see what's something you might be implementing. Right? We talked about learning. Is there something that you're going to start learning more about? Is there something you're going to read? Is there something you're going to listen to? We just talked about being more kind. Are you going to start making sure you think twice about posting your comment in these Facebook groups to make sure that it's appropriate versus demeaning or rude? Think about these things. Let me know. I would love to hear from you, and I'll give you a gold star. And I hope that you found this helpful, and we'll end it there.